Hey,
Hey, happy Saturday, gentlemen.
happy Saturday.
Days.
Pretty classic.
Today we are rehashing our 64, 63 episodes. I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah, 63 or 64.
that's wild, weird stuff. You know,
We're recapping the entire campaign because we ended it suddenly last week, and we want to give it a good send off. And we're going to go over George's copious notes because he has a ton
thorough
of them.
analyses.
And we're just going to hang out. We're going to talk about the
And
campaign.
Probably also going to talk about the game mechanics, play testing, maybe, things that we learned over the course of the campaign, that type of thing. We'll get George and James's thoughts on their classes.
Yeah,
And all that good stuff.
And
too much good stuff.
If time permits, we should also resolve some NPC stuff with roles. I think that'd be really fun.
Figure out what happened.
What happened? What happened to these folks? What happened to these folks? Because there's a lot I've forgotten, and George's notes is going to really it's going to be amazing to go through them.
There's a lot in the notes where I'm just I don't know that I remember any of this, but that's fine. That's the point of being here.
I am most excited about partially constructed sentences that have little nuggets of what was there and what happened, and then trying to decipher them or awakening our brains to remember.
Right.
Also, those of you just joining us, we're talking about a campaign of Land of Eam. That's our RPG that was inspired by the Rickety Stitch and Gelatinous Goo graphic novel series. You can download the game for free at landofeam.com. It's a beta version, and you'll also get updates on the upcoming Kickstarter. And plug over. Let's hang.
Where can I find that?
Every time you say that, sorry, my throat.
Whistling the end of Ben Costa.
Have you ever seen?
Breathe deep, man. Breathe deep.
Yeah.
George.
Sorry. Phil time.
Every time you say that, it sounds like we just made a game based on someone else's thing.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah, that's a good point. Rickety Stitch Gelatinous Goo, a graphic novel series created by Ben and myself, inspired our own game that takes place in the world of Eam, where Rickety dwells. And
who wrote Land of Eam? Who really wrote it?
Canon. I think the Gelatinous Goo wrote Land of Eam. That's true. That's my belief.
With a heavy dose of P. Ganderman.
P. Ganderman.
Gnome lore master.
Oh.
Who would be
anyway? Sorry for that aside.
Story.
Georgie boy, why don't you dive into your notes?
You're gonna dive in,
and as James said, we'll all right, what happened to this thing, and
let's see. So, do we ever title our campaign?
No, it's campaign 1.
Campaign
sucks. How about just something simple like The Adventures of Riley and Galen or something like that?
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes a lot of sense. All right, let's see. Should we go through all the items? No, we can do that.
We should
later
do items too, but let's do the
let's start.
I have very little memory of it all.
It all begins around the crack, like so many things in Land of Eam.
Many things in life.
Yeah, and life. The first thing I have written down is Geargar, who I remember it was a dwarg, and he was a big wig around the crack. I have Beast Snatcher. I think he was stealing people's.
Oh,
beasts.
That's right.
And then there was a Red Tooth Yaljat clan causing trouble. And then that was the beginning of my boxing career.
What's the beginning?
Right?
Yeah,
I'm going to restart my camera, but I'm still here.
I think what happened there was that's not the very beginning of the campaign, but
that's what I figured. That's just the first notes I have because it was.
As I recall, the first thing that happened was you guys were leaving Krogland, headed south.
That's right.
I see.
And then I think you went to Marshgate, and Sven the yodeling troll was bothering everyone. With
Sven the yodeling troll was bothering him. Yes.
And so
We went into the Quagmash.
Yeah, and you convinced him to like start a bridge at the crack.
Yeah, that's why we had to go to the crack. How funny. It's maybe I wasn't thinking of taking notes originally, and then I started to do it.
Yeah, I mean, the first time we played was very off the cuff. Like,
I mean,
we weren't even
Sven,
expecting it to be a giant campaign.
correct
Right.
me if I'm wrong, Sven the Yodeling Troll was a random encounter,
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
which then became an NPC that we would like go and visit several times.
He was our buddy, you know. We owe
was our
him
buddy.
our many riches. We have bank accounts because of him.
And then Girgar, he was like,
I mean, what was the deal?
his deal was he was like getting bored and he wanted a new hunt.
Yeah, he was like,
And he,
he
like,
was
tricked
gonna-
you
Oh,
into
he
a-
was hunting us.
yeah, he was
Yeah.
hunting us, like because
Mm.
man is the most dangerous game.
Of course.
So he gave you a head start and then he chased you into the Quagmash.
Yep.
Oh,
And
that sounds
that's-
all good.
I
If
feel like
were-
L. Barry Berryton was with you by then.
yes, he was a random encounter. We met him. Like also, he was a
Ah.
random encounter.
You see what happened is people are in a different place on my list, so they aren't necessarily all woven in there. That's funny. But yeah,
I want you to
Elberry
read every
Berenson.
person in a row and see if I can survive it. Like for the amount
God,
of random.
just like well, I kept updating the list, so I kept crossing people off. So I think people would just disappear. But we'll go back for some oldies and goodies. Let's see. All right, so that is, I think my favorite memory from there is boxing with the L-Jacks, just like beating them up.
You do have an
Yeah.
affinity for boxing things in RPGs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I always say, can I punch them? And then can I called shot punch them? Is my next question.
right in the brain.
Let's see. Along the way, when we were going back to Marshgate, we encountered a small group of pocket fiddler spiders. And that's all I have written down about that. Just small group of pocket fiddler spiders.
So one of my favorite parts of the beginning of the campaign was the conflict that we had with Girgar in Quagmash because it led to meeting Sklunch.
Hmm.
Oh,
Orch.
yeah. Sklunch is the best. He had heart, man.
The,
Yeah, Sklunch. And then there was like a battle with Muckmen and Girgar, and you like tried to, because the Muckmen were gonna attack Marshgate or something, and you like kind of like
we
meshed
like
the two conflicts together.
Yeah.
we created like watch our enemies destroy each other scenario.
Yeah.
But that's when Elberry Berryton got separated from the group,
We thought he was dead. It was
Yeah.
and
crazy.
then you guys took Sklunch to Orchsty and like met Elberry Berryton again in the crowd.
Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah.
Covered in blood.
Yes, because we were separated from him, and that was
Yeah,
like a big
he'd
issue.
like
we were,
he
we,
had
like,
like
lost him.
I remember making jokes that he was like Kurtz in like Heart of Darkness. The horror. Are you an assassin?
And then at Orchsty, I remember you guys propelled Sklunch into power, like with his battle against the big Orch.
Yeah.
One of our finest moments in the campaign.
I think it was.
I'm trying to think. Yeah, I mean, I remember all this. I'm surprised I didn't write more of that down. But again, I guess this was in the beginning of when we started playing.
Is that
The whole Sklunch thing was just an epic arc.
Sklunch?
arc
Yeah,
of-
he was
of-
with us for a long time. And was Sklunch with us when we blew up the witch's house?
I don't know that. I think was he
I
too
felt like that
afraid
was
of?
this- Yeah, maybe. But like, remember, like there was like
He did
the-
travel with us a lot.
It's all relative, I think, though. Like,
Yeah, I guess it's
felt
true.
like a lot in the beginning. It was probably
Yeah,
like
it did.
4 sessions.
Yeah. It was the entire first season. It was the Sklunch arc.
I don't know if he was
Um,
with you with the witch.
I don't know either.
Yeah, how funny. So all that stuff was got to be multiple episodes. And then we had the next note I have is D Ichabod Icky Lundy lunch date tomorrow in Marshgate that we kept
That's
putting
so
off
funny.
like
That's so
repeatedly.
funny. we now don't get me. We were meant to have lunch with that guy multiple times throughout the campaign, or
Yeah,
was that just a running gag that we always had like a lunch?
This
date with
is
that guy?
this is the first mention of it, and I think we just like kept reminding ourselves we need to go have lunch with this guy, and it like became
I think
like
it was
stretched out
it was a random encounter where like
Mhm.
there's a gnome
on the road.
who
Was he in a
ambushes you
cage?
for lunch.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. It was a discovery, right? It's like a positive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think Elberry Barrington might have been in the cage.
LBR, that
Oh,
makes
yeah,
sense
right.
because I remember that being like something I've seen in a previous campaign too.
Yeah,
Gnome in a cage.
right.
It's all over the place. I don't know if this is actually the results of the lunch date because I have a couple of bullet points below it. The last tree in the used to be forest. The green gallivanters are trying to think of something to save it. There was a contact, J. Spinky Nabernutty, with no notes.
Yeah, he was just telling you to go to the last
Yeah,
tree.
so I think this
That
is
guy's at the
actually
last
like
tree, right?
That's
yeah,
something you never did, and so
yeah,
the
it's dead.
repercussions of that.
Will be rolled right now.
Wait, we sent Lundy to go there, and we said we'd meet him. I feel like we like did a drive
I feel
by at some point.
several times we like tried to skirt it by sending people to go help. Like there was Lundy, and then we sent like the Logjam Gundam
Mhm.
to like
Yeah,
plant
that's
trees
true. We
and-
did.
But so that'll be +1.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm gonna give it a flat roll because
Oh,
you were told on many occasions what to do. There was one thing you had to do was get a
Heart of
dryad
Dryad.
heart.
Yep,
Didn't
has to
do
be
that.
given freely. And the stump witch up north was in possession of one versus we could persuade a river dryad in the river country. But yeah, those fell by the wayside.
So this flat roll is all based on the mech. I forget his name.
Yeah.
The wisp.
the Wisp.
Johnny
Logjam.
Apple.
I'm sure I have it somewhere. In
Oh
here.
yeah, Johnny Appleseed.
Yeah.
Here we go. It's a 7.
Yeah.
Success with a twist.
Maybe the tree itself died, but rose like a sprout is already starting.
I feel like that would be a
What's it?
failure.
Yeah, it's a failure
plus.
with a plus. Like the tree
Mm.
lives, but the twist is,
Many green gallivanters died.
the Wisp animates it. Now the Wisp is turned itself into a
Wisp.
beamkin.
I'm gonna say the tree is still alive. Okay,
Mhm.
but the wisp has been corrupted by the force
Ooh.
within.
Oh jeez.
Ooh, okay,
Gosh, like-
okay.
I got like a Mecha Godzilla out there
Yeah.
tearing trees out, doing the opposite. Corrupted wisps. That's terrible.
Yeah. So yeah, then the next note I have is I think this is more of a general note. Was searching for serpent men who were outside our town. And then Eye of Ek is probably the first time we kind of started to bring up the Eye of Ek. And then we heard there were sightings in the Quagmash. Let's see. This is followed up with get rid of Shade Wand, the witch. I don't know if that means we need to get rid of Shade Wand.
That's
Yeah, I think we hadn't gotten rid of Shade Wand yet.
no. We blew up her house though. We like
We did
destroyed
blow
her
up her
lab.
house. So maybe that was we had gotten rid of her.
You didn't get rid of her.
No.
You-
Well, like she
Disrupted
became
her.
like a.
I remember
a
joking that we
mist.
like created
Yeah.
a substantial villain for ourselves because we like destroyed her operation, but then fled
Right.
immediately.
That's one thing that I never successfully weaved back in.
Yeah, I was always waiting for her to start cackling and rematerialize or something.
What happened was you guys went to her like hovel, and she has
Yeah.
a giant cauldron, and you like made it blow up in like a huge
Mm-hmm.
geyser of.
Oh yeah, I think we like dumped
Whatnot.
a bunch of stuff together, or maybe that was a different quest.
She was producing witch breath that was like
Yeah.
emanating all throughout the Quagmash, and
Well, so here's something interesting. A little bit farther down, there's a witch breath passage to Gator Maze. I feel like that's what we took, right?
Yeah, you guys went to
We went to
Sinkhole.
yeah, we went to Sinkhole. At some point, this is where we pick up Zona Imbach. I don't remember how we picked up Zona Imbach.
I don't remember.
He's a random encounter.
Really?
God.
Yes.
That's this. Well, I mean,
yeah,
it makes
I mean-
sense. This entire campaign came out of the Mucklands sandbox setting, so it's
Yeah.
like not crazy that there's a lot of random encounters that have like essentially forged long-term relationships over the course of a year's worth of game.
I'm pretty sure his
I wouldn't
name
be
is even
surprised,
in
yeah.
the encounter.
Really?
I'm pretty sure.
I love the idea that someone else in their campaign will come across their own version of Zona Imbach.
Yes,
It'll be one of his sons.
we are many.
We are Legion.
Yeah, he is a Muckland's Quagmash discovery.
Hmm.
You meet
That's
a
awesome.
mushroom named Zona Imbach. You're the first outsiders they've ever met and would like to observe you, if you don't mind.
That makes sense why he's following us. Yeah.
60 quests later,
Would like
he's
to
writing
observe
articles
you.
for Dungeoneer magazine in Bogtown.
Yeah. Oh,
That's
I love
great. It's fun stuff.
it. God, he's such a fun part of the whole campaign. Like
He's a
just-
fun guy, if you will.
He's a fun
Wow.
guy.
Oh,
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he is. Whew.
Thanks for setting that, George. That was great.
You know, that's what I do. I'm just looking out, set him up, knock him down.
You're like Andy.
Wow. And the Andy, you're my Conan O'Brien.
Conan O'Brien.
There is a Slarm Eel King. Parentheses Clunch Dragons.
I kind of remember this.
Was that?
Feel like that was like a mess of a thing in down in Sinkhole. Like we went in and there was a mining operation plagued by Slarm Eels, and then we lock it into
There were that was
a
Slurp
cage. Those were slurp worms.
Oh,
Okay,
right.
the slurp worm queen. Oh, that's next.
The slurp worm.
This is all together. Because
Oh,
3 lines
yeah,
later, I
yeah.
have slurp worm problemos solved. So that was when I remember we locked the slurp worm
wait,
queen.
wait. That's what the note actually says.
I wrote slurp worm problemos - solved.
That's awesome. I love it.
But I and then there was Drum Dangdower, who I think might have been something in Sinkhole, and then there was a Spithra named Ezrak Leem.
Yeah, he's the foreman.
Yeah.
Informant. Yeah, so they were getting plagued by slurp worms, and then we were able to to trick the queen into getting inside a cage, and then throwing it in the elevator and dragging it up and bringing it outside.
Right.
We got it out of
Yes.
Sinkhole.
Right.
Let's see. Then Witch Breath Passage to Gator Maze. Okay. So then that was part of somewhere deep in the mines, right? There was a passage
Yeah, there was
with witch breath emanating out of
skeletons as well.
it. Skeleton miners, yep.
Let's make a note that Gator Mage is also awesome, and we
Yeah.
should stick with that.
Gator Mage.
I'm the Gator Mage, babe. Come on.
I just want fan art of Gator Mages, like there was fan art of Alligator Loki. It's like the same energy, you know.
Gator Mage.
Cannon. Lillian Gar, a boggart, was one of the puddle jumpers who were conservationists. We encounter her at some point in this part of the quest.
Yeah,
I don't think
she
any
was telling you that you should not kill the slurp worms.
that tracks.
Mm.
That's probably why we tried to put it in a cage and
Yeah,
get it out of there.
Right.
Just slurp worm apologist, you know.
Wow.
There were some rumors of Sarpathic coming out of the Quagmash, so questionable where it was from. Like, was it from the Underlands? We saw they had been seen near Marshgate. And those are just some more rumors that we heard. While we were heading towards the witch, we met Wigo, the vampire, who we convinced to join us.
You are about the buzzing
yeah.
of flies to him.
Like,
At that
I
point-
can't. Yeah, go ahead.
There was also a gnome. Does that come next?
Next line. P Mibby Wopdiddle.
Yeah.
I remember the gnome
Something about George
sacrifice.
reading the names like really just delights me every time.
Like, because like part of it is also like you have said a name to me and then I have tried to spell it out phonetically in a way that it makes sense to me. They're not always like, yeah. But
Like all
okay,
these
so
gnome names are just off the
yeah,
dome.
yeah,
They're just
they're
like
off the dome, baby.
that's how you get P Mimby Wopdiddle.
What was it? Well, I mean, there's a P Walter Mitty. Isn't that a Ben Stiller movie?
Yeah.
Or something?
Maybe, maybe that's in the recesses of my brain. I don't know.
Yeah, I do remember though that didn't Wego start to turn on us, and then P maybe Wopdiddle sacrificed himself,
Yeah.
like, and then we were blinded or something like that. Riley was blinded briefly. Might have been where I got hearing damage.
Okay.
That might have also
Yeah, I
been
think
something
there was
else.
some
I
lasting
remember
injury you
this.
had.
Yeah, there was like a massive explosion of power. I do remember that. That's not in the notes, but that's just like pulling at my brain strings.
Yeah. But he survived, I think.
Did he?
Gnome.
Yeah, didn't he tell us to like run basically? And while he held him off,
Mhm.
because I know we basically got separated.
I feel like he might have gone with you to Shade Wands, except he didn't like go inside because he was
Oh, because he had no beef with her, right?
forbidden.
Like yeah, there was some reason where he was like, he
I think it
wouldn't be
was
able to
like
help us.
it was sort of like his Organa the Unicorn thing in Grimly Wood, like I cannot go beyond this point.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Zorgana the Unicorn is in Rickety Stitch Book 1. That's a Rickety Stitch Book 1 reference.
Written by James Parks and Ben Costa.
Yeah, we're not just making a game inspired by someone else's stuff here.
yeah, it's our world. You can check it out, landofbeam.com.
They're making the game inspired by their own stuff. At some points,
It makes it sound like we're lunatics.
I think
Um,
based on is a better.
yeah, there's a better way of
We've
phrasing
waffled
it,
on how to present it like that, like from the beginning.
you know.
I don't know. It takes place in the same world as Rickety Stitch. So if you like Land of Eam or if you like Rickety Stitch, check them out.
You like anything we're saying right now, you'd like that.
All right.
Next there was a miner. I think this might have been a random encounter. Who told us about a rumor that there was a war between Orches and Muckmen going on to the north. So we had already left Quag or Orchstein, like, I think we returned Sklunch to Orchstein, if I'm not mistaken. That was what it was. We were bringing him back home.
I know what happened.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead. Because I have like figments of it, but not entire thoughts.
I think at one point you talked to Big Orch,
right?
And he told you to go to Shade Wands, and in return,
yeah, they would help.
They would help fight the Muckmen.
Yes, because we were trying to. Were we trying to save Marshgate? That's what it was.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh. See, all the notes eventually make sense.
So Sklunch was still with you. He had not taken over Big Orch yet.
He hadn't taken over from Big Orch because that's coming up. But Sklunch, I don't know that he was still with us. Didn't he stay in Orchstein?
I don't think so. I think he went with you to like build his courage.
Was he with us when Shade One died, or when Shade One became like
I think
mist?
He
might have actually been there.
Yeah, there was like something about like we were trying to build his legend, like so that he could challenge Beorch and others would listen.
Right. The Legend of Sklunch.
We'll release a 9-book series in 2040.
So at this point, L. Barry Barrington is still missing. You still have no idea where he went. Because I remember you found him like during the battle. of Big
Oh,
Orch
with the
Squunch.
yeah. He was like in the mud. No, I remember there being a muddy elberry berry.
I think James used like old chums.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, right.
You willed him back into our world.
While I still had that power. Speaking of power, that's a power that I wish I kind of took, that I kept.
Oh, instead of like letting it
Well,
go.
not really. Instead of, I don't know. It would have been helpful.
Yeah,
like
this is a
would have
good
been
creative
helpful.
ability.
I had intended, if we ever got beyond level 10, I intended to get it again.
Yeah, circle back around for it.
Yeah,
that was
to
that
go
was a good
spend
one.
XP on it.
Yeah,
40 XP.
Yeah. 40 XP to unlock.
totally worth it. The next line I have is Witch with the subheading Reawakening the Gloom. I have no idea.
That's shade
Would have
work.
been.
Yeah,
I mean, I imagine so, but is it that we blew her up already and then or is she's trying to reawaken the gloom?
Yeah, that was her goal.
Okay.
She's like creating her own concoction of gloom.
This is an interesting line next because I think it'll explain itself, but it says it must have been when we were having a campfire convo. Galen just wants what's best for Riley and is worried that she'll fall into old habits when she sees that cape again.
That cape. Weldar.
Weldar. It's got to be
Weldar, baby.
cape.
It's got to be Weldar.
Man, he took a turn, didn't he?
Yeah.
I mean, he went to like,
Put on 40 pounds when we came the next day.
He was like Fat Thor, but we never saw the redemption arc.
Yeah. He was like Fat Thor.
But like when Riley and Galen are off in Eppley, maybe that's when he becomes the hero that the Mucklins deserve.
He mounts FB.
Yeah, he takes FB in my stead. So yeah, I guess I don't know if that was the first mention of Weldar. He was in our backstories at some point, right? Like that's probably why we brought him up and started kind of talking about. Yeah, and then we must have just like campfired it out.
Yeah, probably.
Let's see. Isaac the Kobold, in quotes, the old place, which must be a location. In the Drippy Downs, a warlock searching for a can of sport.
Sporg.
What? Sporg. I like that you knew exactly what it was supposed to be.
Yeah.
Can of Sporg. And then there was the nameless
I only
lake.
need like a little bit of hint to like reawaken what it is, because I do know what everything is, but
it's
like
all dormant.
It's so much that I can't remember it unless I get a walkthrough.
Yeah, I think that we met Isaac the Kobold, and he gave us, these are just some leads. And the next one is Nameless Lake. There are Felmog Outriders that have been disappearing while searching for something. So those are just probably both rumors that we may or may not ever have followed up on.
I think we did pursue that because that's how the Red Axe, man. That's how like you got your axe, is like that.
Oh, that was Nameless Lake. We ran into the jail of the Red Axe. Yeah, nice. Then the next line is Orch Big Orch died, chaos in the power vacuum. So this is definitely when we get Sklunch into power, right?
For your puppet regime.
I mean, we never abuse that, we just we wanted what was best for Sklunch. A small Orch could be Big Orch too, He's got big heart.
Yeah, that makes sense. And you never did go back to visit him.
Yeah, it was always on my my list.
Let's roll to see if we're still friends or foes.
Yeah. Well, let's roll to see if Sklunch is still in power, and then let's also roll to see if Barry Barrington is.
I need this one.
I
need him to be in power. That would be rough if he wasn't.
Well, I think it's more.
Barry Barrington will give him a +1.
That's what I was gonna say. I think that having him there is gonna make it. Yeah.
He's this worm tongue.
Yeah.
Another 7.
Swimming in 7s, man. I'm gonna use 2 quest points to make that 9.
Wow.
So he is still in power, but there's rumblings, there's conflict, and
He's got
there's
some
probably going to
rivals
be
now.
another
Yeah,
fight for
I
power.
like to
at some
believe that he's already fought off 2 assassination attempts and has furthered his legend, but it was actually Elberry Barrington who kills these people in the night. He's like
Wow.
gone full feral gnome.
He's
The
like
king's
not a
spy
gnome anymore.
master.
Yeah, exactly. He's just found new purpose in life. Protect the king at all costs.
He went from this like woodland gnome.
Yeah,
Now he's like he's in the imperial court. He's just
Yeah.
trying to make it happen.
he only speaks in
It's
orc.
Game of Thrones out there.
Yeah, thumps his chest
Lord
a lot.
Varys or whatever.
That or he's Littlefinger.
He has a harem.
Oh, jeez.
Harem of orches.
Oh, it's rough.
Yeah.
Moving on.
I'll make a note of that.
Oh god, I'm gonna die. Oh,
We in our travels after that, we met 2 quartles, Odd and Dwin, who gave us an egg of insight.
I remember the egg of insight. I do not remember the Coral interaction.
Yeah, I remember the portals.
You traded the egg of insight, right?
Yeah, we traded the egg of insight later to not Wazinski. It was Wazinski. Yeah,
Oh, right.
yeah, it was to sweeten the deal. Oh, yeah, that's coming up.
The egg of insight. It was a
very powerful. Yeah, and that was a big trade. It felt. I mean, like it felt like it was giving away a lot, but it was an easy way to kind of make that to sweeten that pot. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But let's make our way over to that. So we found out at that point that Crazy Ernie had locked himself in his mansion. So we must have gone back to Marshgate, right? Because it says Vera is seeking his patronage. She's worried something's going on with him. We must have gotten... Okay, so this fast forwards a little bit because it next says Gail Ribaldo, Bogrel medicine maker that's sweating profusely and is somewhat of a grifter.
Yeah, so you guys went
because we're inside.
Inside, and it was a random dungeon that like really pushed you to your limits. You guys were
that
there
was
for like 3
close.
sessions or something.
Yeah, right.
It was exhausting, and like we as players were exhausted by it in an appropriate way.
Gail Ribaldo was your love interest.
I was gonna say this is the beginning of Galen's many like dumb love interests that never amounted to anything because I as a player would never like go that far with it. But she was a little bit crazy. She was wasn't she like a little bit like bat caca?
Mm-hmm. She's a little stalkery.
Yeah, that got awkward. And then did she not try to? And this may have happened.
Try
more
to
than
get
once,
you jealous.
like, by going with Zona and Bach. Yeah, I was gonna say I can't remember if this has happened more than once, but it definitely happened then.
God, I was just about to say it feels like it's happened more than once to me, but like I don't know why that is.
Oh God, I love it. It's so good.
That's funny.
Just like Zona and Bach like acting like Kip from Napoleon Dynamite.
Yeah. Oh God.
Peace out. Oh God. That's classic.
So, in Crazy Ernie's mansion,
mm-hmm.
you discovered that he was captured by Sarpathy.
Yes. The note in Crazy Ernie's closet references that. It says, "Got no legs, but ain't a broken chair. Sure got teeth, but ain't got no hair. Down to a temple by the sea. Someone come and help little old me." Now, is that like already in the sandbox, or did you make that up somehow on the spot?
I added that part. I wasn't on the spot, but it was.
Well, yeah. You'd planned a little bit.
Yeah.
Because I think we like found a note.
I added
it
to the sandbox. It's in the sandbox now.
Oh, it's in the sandbox now. How exciting!
Canon.
Yeah, a lot of this stuff is like, some of it's there, but then like based on our play, I'll like add stuff to it.
Mm-hmm. It's awesome. Then I just have. I think at this point we were kind of waffling between Vera the Math Magician, who was with Unassailable Co., and Taskmaster Dundu, who was from SPL. I don't know if we were trying to figure out who we'd return Crazy Earn to, right? I think that was
Yeah, because they're
their rivals. Yeah,
rivals, and they offered you different things.
and it would have helped them better establish control over Marshgate. Something that makes me sad is that I don't know that we ever followed up on this, but in our travels to the next location, we found a love letter to Marla from Nam, expressing regret and sorrow, and he feels that he may have died in vain on an errand for the Thane of Munch.
We did not resolve that.
I don't think. I think that's just been in my pack.
We never even went there to that
No.
place.
Like we
No.
filed it away,
Not even
and we were
close.
debating like figuring out a way to deal with it. But
If we pursued every thread, we would be playing this campaign for 7 years.
yeah, it's just like at some point we have to triage what's really important.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was just a random thing on the way to where we're going, which was actually, and I don't know if this
SPL.
was, well, here's the thing, right? This is when we encounter Old Noggin, aka Lumpley Pendergoose, who was a goblin by the Hellgrowth Mine. And then he said to us in, I quote, "Lord Orfung, he did it."
So somehow
Maybe.
you were. Did you get sent to Hellgrowth Mine by something?
I don't
like a rumor.
I don't. It must. So yes, it was probably a rumor, but I don't know why we were following up on it. But I know that he had like lost his dang mind and
Yeah.
was telling us that like he was the rightful owner of SPL, right?
No,
He said, "Oh no, Azimuth Corp."
I don't know that he knew that.
Yeah.
Right.
We
It was-
discovered that.
Yeah, we found official paperwork from the Azimuth Corp, a now dated big player with a city in Dunk built around their corp, Fire Damp 2, whatever that means. It says sabotaged by SPL, however, there's no hard proof. And then we found Regal Mundupal's sketchbook and T. Orfong's cufflinks,
That's funny.
which was like, I think that was like a really, really high search check or something to find T. Orfong's cufflinks.
T or
Because it was like very much pointing at like,
Yeah.
So at this point, with Old Noggin in tow, we must have gone to SPL because the only thing I have written next is just the words Goblin Resourcerer. And I remember like thinking that was the funniest thing when we were like walking through their human resources department or whatever.
Goblin Resourcerer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you went back to SPL. That's when you met Elmo, who was in the
Yeah.
suit, the Orfong
Oh, yeah.
suit.
Good old.
I got notes on this. So Vice Punisher Destina Brink. That's a thing now. Wazinski beef with Brink. This is Brink's baby. Initiative to take down Grimley Wood. Need lumber to supply tunnels. Close off the crack. Preserve crack as a historic monument? ? So I think that was our plan. It might have been. I don't know what that means really.
That means like since
Yeah.
the beginning, we've been trying to make crack its own like city. We've
Yeah.
we've been like funneling resources and people to that location.
Oh
and
God.
become a historic landmark.
Yeah.
Our homestead ended up being in the crack.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Like I love that the crack became just like a place of, I don't know, like to always return to, and it was consistently growing as a concept.
Like Sven building a bridge, like creating a business. The
Yeah.
Yell Jacks like
Yeah,
forming a society where you are the alpha.
right.
Funny.
Yeah, this is where we were sneaking around in there, and met Elmo, who was in the Orfong suit. He would just go into meetings in this Orfong suit and sit there menacingly, and then leave without saying anything. Because like Lord Orfong, I guess, was
It's dead.
is dead, but they were still
No one
running the
knows that.
company. Yeah, except for Wazinski, I guess, right?
Yeah. But then, yeah. So you talked to Elmo
Mhm.
once you guys were in the room. Like, I think you're rooting around in the files and you
Yeah.
found the proof that Noggin was the owner of Azimuth Corporation. So he's like
Mhm.
owed reparations.
Would.
Oh, and also the proof that Orfang destroyed the company.
Destroy the company. Yeah. We make a deal
Personally,
with.
because his cufflink was literally there.
It was literally him in the Holy Growth Mine with a candlestick. We make a
Wow.
deal with Wazinski to give her an egg of insight in exchange for her helping stop Destina's brink. She tells us we need to go to Logjam and stop something within 2 months to disrupt a shipment of goods for Destina's master plan. And then this is, yeah, go ahead.
Well, there was something before you talked to Wazinski. You guys put on, I think you both put on the costume.
Yes, that's right.
Oh, that's
We
right.
wore the suit. We did wear the suit. Didn't we say there was like a voice changer or something? Because I remember
Yeah,
we
or something
spoke
like
as, yeah, or like
Yeah.
Riley was doing some trickery check.
I think she was on your shoulders because it's like
Mhm.
a tall costume.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. We were
You
like
guys like bumped your head on the ceiling.
two kids in a trench coat kind of thing.
Yeah, definitely two kids in a trench coat.
Or you like bumped into the door as you guys were leaving the
Yeah.
meeting.
Oh yeah. And like no one would laugh or something. Like it was like
It's like so awkward. I love it.
that's funny.
Um,
Oh man.
Yeah, so that's
So-
when you guys
Mhm.
needed to go to Logjam. Did you do
Yeah.
that?
Later.
We did that substantially later, right?
Yeah, first
Yeah,
you went
'cause we
west
went to
Trippy
Dunk.
Downs.
Yeah, we went to Dunk,
Hmm.
and that's how we get the whole Sarpathi Temple and the Golden Wyvern stuff.
Yeah.
Just for reference here, you guys were at SPL HQ, and then you traveled all the way over here to Dunk.
Yeah, we went down to the river and sailed up it, I believe.
Oh yeah, because you went to Mucklin's Harbor to drop off Old Noggin.
Yeah, we'll
Mhm.
we're close. So we traveled south to Mucklin's. Well, let's see. Found a massive saw with adamant teeth covered in growth, not made by SPL. Greyhead Gargoon, who had the boggarts of Munch, forged him a saw at the dawning of the dungeon era hundreds of years ago. So we get that saw working again. I think we wanted to bring it to the crack. We traveled south to Mucklin Harbor via way of Bogwatch. Old boggart
yeah.
woman,
Yeah, we
Trumbull,
went to-
in armor, standing outside. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, this is a very short sentence on what happened. So, Trungle was an old boggart woman. She's reporting vandalizing rapscallions on the way to Dunk on the bridges. Torch adopted Orch's son. Maybe we can escort on their way back through Logjam, drop them off. I don't remember if we actually escorted them, but Paladin Ponderwald, a bulwark, and Claudia, his chicken,
Mm-hmm. I remember this.
escorted us south to Mucklin Harbor and dies in combat with pirates.
Yeah, you guys were assaulted by pirates
Yep.
in
Yeah.
the middle of the night.
That was a
And
rough
that's where
loss.
we lost him, and that's where we got Claudia.
Yeah.
Oh, what a life she lived.
What a life she lived. She got transmuted, combined with the lizard who breathes fire in her
Got
back.
mutagen all over her.
Yeah. Secret of the Use, baby.
Yeah.
Then there's a couple of different things like Gaudy Worthfarthing, Goblin Traveler we happened upon from Beelzebub, Marshall Viner. He was a Felmog knight and owner of the Black Galleon in Mucklin Harbor. So I guess at this point, yeah, we had gotten, as part of the deal with Wazinski, we paid off Noggin, and we were escorting him with his wheelbarrow.
Gold. Yeah, he was like the richest guy in
That's
Mucklin's
what it was.
for a half hour.
Yes. Yeah. Right until he got to Mucklin Harbor and bought a giant ship.
Yep.
And we hear this is the first we hear of the rumor of Wally of Waffles in Warg fame and him stashing a treasure on Terror Island. There's a little nugget to lead us down that road later. At this point, we go up the river. We meet Urchley Murgle. She's a quartal sellsword with shackles around her ankles. And all she cares about is this golden wyvern in the high wilds, which is extremely poisonous and still on the loose.
Mhm.
There's Shelly, the captain. And then, oh God, okay, so we get in trouble with Troggles.
Yeah.
We're sailing up the river, and we get like
I think your
basically
notes are
dismounted.
getting like really more detailed by this point.
Yeah, this is where we're starting to get in, like everything is being
This is
not
about
everything,
the
but, like,
time where it becomes work.
yeah. I was like, I gotta keep up with this. I
All
gotta
right,
keep up.
we got to take this
Yeah.
seriously now. This is...
Yeah. Well, it's a little bit easier to follow at least now, but yeah, the Troggles, or we have to get off the ship. I don't remember why, but I know we end up encountering Troggles.
Yeah, I think
Oh,
I don't
because
know.
I think the river ends. It's literally on the map. The river.
I think
Final.
there might have been some reason why, like I think it was
Yeah.
just dangerous. They
It was
didn't wanna go.
dangerous. I think that. Oh, you know what? That must have been the note about reports of vandalizing rapscallions on the way to Dunk. Maybe that was
Oh, maybe.
just a reason they wouldn't go far. I can't remember. But what's interesting is we ran into trouble with Troggles. I have the next thing is Ock the Troggle. So we must have encountered one.
Mhm.
And then Loka, his mate and leader of their tribe, was kidnapped by Ek. And we're like, hey, Sarpathy, we got to deal with this.
Yeah.
Turns out it was Unda, who was poisoned by Ek and terrorizing other like tribes. And that was in the cave in the High Wilds. No. This was like maybe in. Well, let me go to the map.
This is where, you know.
Yeah, this is where we nuke the whole clan from orbit with a seed of hurricanes. This is awesome. We leveled like 3 hexes.
It was because you guys snuck into like a pretty hostile situation. There was like a cult of Ek and like a bunch of Troggles who were about to sacrifice Loka and maybe some other Troggles.
Right.
And like if you didn't do that, you guys were probably dead.
Probably dead. There's a lot of times where probably dead, and then like I, pull an item out of my backpack. It's like a power, and we use that inside a closed space, which was not a good idea.
Not a good idea, but it worked.
It did work. So we reunited Loka and Ock, and we never heard from them again. Did we have like a Life Day celebration in their village or something?
I think everything was destroyed, man. Like the whole,
Yeah, man.
like all the
Yeah.
hexes.
Yeah.
After that, you went to Dunk.
Yeah. First Bridge, Underbridge, Sky Hill, Boulder Hill. We go to Sky Hill? I guess those are just the regions of Dunk, right?
Those are the
subdivisions.
districts. Yeah, the
districts. Yeah. There's a toll tellers thing where we start getting into issues. Graham Hamba, there's a big mayoral race going on. He's worried about his chances. Opponents are gaining headway.
Let's roll to see what happened.
Oh, yeah.
Now, you guys did absolutely nothing for that, so let's say it's -2.
That's rough.
Yeah.
Whew.
Oh, Graham Hamba is lynched.
He did not.
Uh,
He did not win.
Yeah.
so for the next campaign, Dunk is taken over by SPL.
Whoa. That's crazy.
They put into power Bottomus Harangue, who's just a puppet.
Bottomus Harangue. Did you roll that, or have you been sitting on that wonderful name for a long time?
Sandbox.
Okay. I love that name. So that must have been who he was running against. I see.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Wow.
So like, yeah, all the toll teller stuff is going out the window.
Going out the window.
The Mace window.
There's a couple different things like, Grendy Frumbly proves she's behind a local vandalism. I don't know that we really followed up on that. There were 3 town wardens captured in the sewers. Head Constable Dima Bonkwell, I think, asked us to follow up on this, or we volunteered to. There was a reason we decided to do this.
Yeah.
Because there were also maintenance workers disappearing and Sarpathy sightings in the sewers. There's the name Glyph Smuckleberry with no context.
I think that's just I think he's like a worker.
Yeah, it's probably a worker. We end up somehow getting a map of the sewers. We meet a person named Foreman Bumgoo, who we must be rescuing in the sewers or something. Or like he was probably running out of it as we were going in.
I think he's outside the sewers.
Was he outside the sewers? Okay, but
I think he's the
Bumgoo is
worker.
a lovely
I don't
name.
know who Glyph Schmuckleberry is.
Yeah,
I don't know.
nobody knows. This
No
is
idea.
where we first meet, or not first, but the only time we encounter Ilgath the Inkpot Spider. This is why every time
yeah.
I think an Inkpot Spider, because he says he's had thousands of sons and they like never call him or write. So I ask every Inkpot Spider if they're Ilgath. And that's
Never
where-
paid
that-
off.
Never paid off. Even if they were
Sorry,
his
dude.
kid, they hated him. It's fine. After all that's kind of resolved, we go to Dundlock Circus because they have a caged Sarpathi, Zeal the Prophet.
Well, you skipped over a whole part where like you guys fought Sarpathi in the
Not
sewer.
important. Not important.
And then
Yeah, the whole
the
sewer.
I just-
golden
yeah.
wyvern was also down there, and then you like flooded the sewers.
That all happened. That's true.
Yep.
I wasn't sure if that came later, but yeah.
So that pushed the wyvern out into the river.
Yeah, he went farther south. And Urchley was in like really pushing for us to keep hunting it down, right? Or she was like gonna drink or hunt that thing down.
Yeah, I guess she got drunk while you guys
Yeah.
pursued the other thing,
Yeah. Oh, that all makes sense.
which was going to Dunlock Circus, discovering
Yeah.
that he had a Sarpathi.
Mm-hmm.
right.
They're packing up and leaving Dunk, and we talked with Gandrilla the Incredible. Didn't Dunlock run off to Yurgurg with
Yes.
Zeal the Prophet?
Yes.
Yeah.
And
So I
this is
think-
where you let out Linda the Manicore.
Yep.
Oh, I wish something had become of that, you know, like oh, Linda flew off.
See what happened to Linda. Is
Yeah,
Linda
let's
out
see.
there?
Yeah, let's roll it,
Did
let's roll
Linda make it back to her family?
Dude, was
Give
she
her a
going
plus
to,
one. You know, she's a Manticore.
Was she
Yeah.
going to Skrocknest Mountain or something?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we were somewhere in that region. The Thunder Bluffs. Yeah.
Yeah, I think something like that.
Another 7.
Wow.
It's just getting, you know. Well, at least it's not a -1.
Success with a twist.
So she gets back to Thunder Bluffs only.
She's hunted.
Oh, by who's
The
the guy? The guy.
She's on the run.
Let's
What was his
see.
name? Dunlock?
Yeah.
Yeah, Dunlock. Let's see. Oh, and then Gandrilla the Incredible, who's a Spithra, I think tells us to go after Dunlock, or so it just gives us its information. Along the way, we encounter Lelaine the Shrimp. It's a random encounter who turns clamp eggs plus rocks into bread.
Wow. Lelaine.
That's right.
Lelaine.
Lelaine.
We ate
Yeah,
that bread for a while.
We ate that bread for a while, indeed.
Clam bread.
Tastes clammy. This is where we steal Starfell ore from Weldar and the Hammer on our
One of our
way through the
finest-
Drippy Downs.
Yeah, one of our finest moments.
Well, like I think what's the best part is that we thought they weren't that tough
Yeah.
because
We were
like
so successful stealing
Yeah.
from them and escaping and humiliating the Hammer that we were like,
Yeah.
oh, we got this. These guys are
yeah.
full of it.
She
Oh
like
my god.
pushed him into the crater or something, and then
Yeah, and then we like rode away
We
quickly.
rolled really well. It was like they caught him totally by surprise, pushed him in, like he like was falling and pissed
Yeah.
off.
Hey, Monger, welcome to the stream. We're just recounting the campaign we finished up last week.
hey, how's it going? Yeah. So I don't even know where we are in the campaign. This is probably season 2.
I don't know.
Yeah, guys,
Maybe.
I think it is still season 2, and we've been talking about it for an entire hour, and we're not even close to being done.
Yeah, the notes are getting just much more detailed now.
I
Oh
gotta
no, well,
already
yeah,
talk
this is
like more.
season. Okay, that's fine. That's all good. We'll press on. Welder and hammer. So we
Press on.
press on, baby. Brang Thurk, Mundred Mundra the Kurg, an old
That was
dwarg who is a
Riley's rival.
That was the Mine-Off. Yeah, a
Yep.
Mine-Off.
It had the
It was
Mine-Off.
just like a whole line of Mine-Off.
At Omagurg.
So we got to Jurgurg and we met that old dwarg who's accomplished much in dwarg society. Oh yeah, so Mundred Mundra was going to settle the dispute, and he said the dispute between Riley and Brang Thurk was going to be a Mine-Off, which Riley humiliated him in.
Let's roll to see if Brang Thurk was ever able to come back from his humiliation.
Yeah, his exile or whatever. Yeah.
Exile.
Oh,
No.
no. He's dead in a mine somewhere.
He's taking the long walk. He's out in the
Yeah.
desert, just like
Yeah.
the wind's battering him.
Yeah.
He's definitely a supervillain at this point.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
Just like a banished dwarg.
Yeah. Slighted by the world. Next it just says Krog, a whole way of life is a farce. Didn't actually build anything from the ground up. Has a museum at Krogland. I don't know.
It's just the story of Krog.
Yeah, it must be. Next, there's a Hierophant, 3 heads, 4 arms, spawned by Queen Sindranoth. I don't know that we encountered one. I feel like we might have.
You definitely
Yeah,
saw
we-
it when you went into the temple.
We saw it when
Yeah.
we went into the temple. That was another really hairy situation that we barely survived.
But this isn't even at the temple yet. This is,
Probably
I
just
think,
heard a rumor.
Yeah, this is
Maybe,
right. This
yeah.
is actually, I think this is right before.
Oh, you know why? This is because we had retrieved Zeal, and we were going back to Dunk.
Yeah.
So maybe Zeal was telling us about that, because next I have highlighted Linda the Manicore off to the Thunder Bluffs. So when we came back is when we must have released it.
Blunder Bluffs.
Blunder Bluffs, yes. Thunder Bluffs is World War
From WoW.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wait, so
So, oh no. You know what? I'm so sorry, Ben. Because next is Jail of the Red Axe. So we must have made our way down to.
what happened to Zeal? I forget what you guys.
I don't remember.
Didn't
Do Zeal get let go? No.
I don't remember what happened to Zeal.
That would be something that I probably should have written down.
I know that this is right before the Red Axe, though.
Yeah.
And then when did you encounter the hammer again?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, he must just not have, because he came back and kicked our butts, and then we were all humbled by it, and then we got away. We were camping one night, and he waylaid us.
Yes. Was that not on the way back down, or was it later?
That sounds like the way back down. But I also may just not have written that down at all.
This was too
It
humiliating.
was too humiliating. Yeah.
Yeah, so that was like really good. That felt good as a GM
Mhm.
when you thought that you could just slay him, but that you put you in your place. But it wasn't like
Yeah.
he killed you or anything. It was
Yeah.
just
But he like
destroyed us. It was
he
totally
like
humiliating.
we literally had to just like give up. Wait, didn't we give up something to him?
maybe it was Zeal.
Maybe it was Zeal.
I think yeah. That's what it was.
That makes a lot more sense.
Yeah.
Because I remember like getting basically one-shotted and having like a hit point left. And we just had to be like, give it up. Whatever you need, man.
George's distaste for that is reflected in that it's not written down.
It didn't
Not gonna
happen
remember.
that way.
I'm not remembering this.
I refuse.
I am the ultimate PC.
I just close my eyes, put my head in the ground. Anyway, we definitely go back after Dunk, and we go south to the Nameless Lake and the Sarpathi Temple.
Yes.
So
And
we see the Hierophant, which is just weird how I have it written down. So I don't know why Lynn of the Manicore was like at that point highlighted.
No, I think the Zeal probably told you about it. Like,
Mm-hmm.
just
Okay.
like boasting about what you're gonna face.
Yeah. As we're scouting out the Nameless Lake and the temple, we meet Jayla the Red Axe, of the Cloven Tongue Felmog Knights. Is she so? She might be poisoned because the next line is Singe Viper
Yeah.
Venom Throngwe to fully cure.
Yeah, she was poisoned. She had found the entrance to the temple.
Yeah. Oh, this is where we learn of the differences in the Felmog Knights. The Cloven Tongue want to cull the Sarpathi because they think they're too powerful, but like Weldar and the Hammer want to control them.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And then we encounter Ka-Rul, the Sargog guardian of the shrine at the Unnamed Lake. And Jayla perishes.
Yeah, in the shrine, there's a giant snake who was pretty formidable, and Jayla was incapacitated.
Wow.
Permanently.
Incapacitated.
I don't think that's a real word.
It isn't.
I know that's not a real
but it
word.
is.
It's an inside
But
joke.
it is.
It's an inside joke. It's
But
something
it
we
is,
say
yeah.
to each other.
Incapitado.
But because
yeah.
we're just hanging out as buddies, it's like,
Yeah.
gotta forget that there's people that are.
Yeah,
Thank you,
it's-
everyone, for watching as well.
Yeah. It's hard to filter sometimes, you know?
Anyway, I should probably explain where that comes from. We used to go to HeroClix tournaments, and there was this kid who would pronounce the incapacitate power as incapitate.
And so we started to do it and have done that ever since.
It's physically impossible for you guys to say incapacitated. I've never heard you say it. And like, it's like you have to really concentrate to say.
It's only
anything
embarrassing
besides
when we're like
incapacitated.
working with publishers.
So then the guy, the hero gets incapacitated, and like, well,
Decapitated?
like, what?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Start looking at the contracts, thinking they made a bad decision. But they didn't. They didn't.
It was a great decision, and let's move on. Okay.
Shout out Random.
Okay,
Shout out
okay,
Simon
okay.
Schuster.
Hey. Simone Schuster, Jayla dies at Ka-Rul. Jayla's findings. She sketched out the lake and landmarks. There's Dwarg fishing on the west side of the lake. Constant battles between the Scum Seers and Sarpathi, who I think we make a deal with the Scum Seers. There's an unmarked wagon from the north that dropped off crates in front of the shrine, which we find out has come from Dunk. I think there's a blacksmith there that we never followed up on. And a giant three-headed Sarpathi comes to the shrine every week. We meet Olkaroth, who I think is one of the Scum Seers. Says Glurganas will reward us with a boon. We follow up on the wagon. There's a tiny inscription on each sword, insignia of the Blurgsmith of Dunk, and it's a person we sold weapons to. By this time, we've made our way into the Sarpathi temple, and we get captured because that's something that happens to us constantly.
Yeah.
But the next line is we escape. The 10 villagers because I just only highlights. The 10 villagers we rescued are from all over the Mucklands. Some were experimented on. We rescued Crazy Ernie. We find out their plan may be we think their plan may be to sow fear and discord amongst the people with no rhyme or reason. This is kind of glossing over the massive battles and the running around in the.
You guys were running around
underwater
inside.
temple.
And I think Riley got incapacitated.
Yeah,
I did.
Yeah,
and
she
you had
did.
to play Urchley for like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was close to end game.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was
one
one
of many
point
times
where like you guys separated and Riley tried to do something, but she just like ran into a group of Sarpath. And you're like,
Well,
okay, we'll
remember-
just end it right there.
She tried to like run through the other side of them, like slide under their legs or something, or like head straight into the danger as your characters want to do.
Yep.
And then you get captured because it was like a really bad check.
So instead of going through the rigmarole of trying to fight them, you just surrendered and played Urchley.
Mm-hmm. That was good. I mean, I don't know that we sabotaged anything.
The surrender of Riley Springle.
I remember it being very difficult to navigate down there, but we got captured and then we like broke out and then we would just like disable the cages and get out and then found our way to their armory. I feel like we blew it up.
Yeah, there was definitely an explosion.
There was definitely an explosion that cracked the ceiling and there was water starting to flood the temple. We were able to kind of like trail of clues our way out of it by using creative powers, I think.
Yeah.
But instead of writing all that down, I fast forwarded to after all this happened. And I said, we run into a troupe of actors who aggressively make us watch their play. I become a crazy critic.
That's so funny.
I write things like that down. I gloss over all the stuff. I'm like, yeah, I'll remember that. That was a big deal. Let's write down this troupe of actors where I become a critic.
This is like a really good example of like making a game that you want to play, because like that sort of thing happening is hilarious to me, and I love it.
Somewhere along the way, we run into Mindy Plasterpot, Bogrel Apothecary, has an eye patch. Kama joins us. She's from River Country, like us. This is another love interest that I just like don't like let happen.
It's like two Bogrel women.
Yeah, I'm scared of another
can't
Gale.
Just your dummy thick legs.
Dummy thick legs. Yes. This is a slightly resentful line, I think, that I've written next. It says, "We finally slew the golden wyvern!" ! And got nothing.
That's the most George thing ever. That's thermonuclear George. The rage comes through, and we received nothing. Oh man. Oh god.
Nothing about how we slew it or why or where or what. Just
I thought we like flooded the sewers or something crazy. Like we did. It was another
that
like
was, that was before.
That was earlier. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like you tracked it in the wilderness, and it was a hard fight. I remember.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you got nothing.
Funny,
other
man.
than,
I think it's
a checkbox completed.
Right. I think it was like Urchley took the head. We finally fulfilled our promise to her in a way. And then there was like, I don't know that we ever had followed up on a reward or anything for it. I don't know if there even was one.
Yeah, I think you might have tried to find its hoard or something.
Yes, and it didn't work out.
Yeah,
for one reason or another. Like I think our search checks just failed. The sub line says need to schlep the body back to Dunk, so I imagine we need to go back to Dunk for kind of tie that up. We then go to Ettenhorn, so I guess we're crossing back over the mountains, and I think we're going to stop by. I want to say we're going to stop by the tree.
Me too.
Yeah. Or I think in between then, Mindy falls into the mud, ruining her dowry dress.
Oh yeah. So I moved that. That's in my Oathbreaker section, which is just completely separate because I was trying to keep track of that. I promised Mindy that I'll find a way to cleanse her dress. We think one galope milk will do the trick. I failed to complete it, and it's kind of a mess. The next thing in that little line is I get some milk soda from the guy Gaspar. And that's it. I never follow up on it.
Milk soda.
I think that, I meant that I get one galope milk. Yeah.
You had an encounter with Ettins.
Yeah. We find out that groups of Ettins are called Sounders, and only one non-Ettin has won a wrestling contest. Why is that a line I wrote?
Because there's a chance.
Do I wrestle them? I probably want.
I probably wanted to wrestle, but like you wanted to.
Yeah. Sometimes it's called Howling Hill. They make fun of Prey before they killed him. We find a bandit dangling from a cage. I remember we rescued him.
Fun of Prey before they killed him. So that's awful, but like it's also like childish awful. They make fun of it before they kill it.
I remember like
not
yelling
they torture,
insults
not
back
they
and
bully.
forth.
They make fun of it.
They tease it. Yeah. we rescue this bandit and he travels with us for a while. I don't think anything becomes of it. We separate after
Yeah, I
we
don't
get to
remember it
Amends.
being-
No, he
I
led
don't
you
remember that
to a
The
small
treasure,
hoard.
right? In the
Oh,
north?
right. Actually, I do remember this.
Yeah.
He led to the horde. Classic.
Yeah.
It was like his fellow bandits that abandoned him, and he wanted to get
Mhm.
back at them.
Yeah. So we split his. I don't remember what was in the horde, but I do remember.
I think it was not a very good horde, but it was
Yeah.
something.
Well, like I think part of it was like we were becoming under a time crunch, but we wanted to somehow fit it in. Like I couldn't give it the treasure. James probably less maniacal about it than me, but
Oh yeah, because
Um,
you had a certain amount of days to get across the Mucklands to get to Logjam.
yeah, I think that the contention was we had spent so much time, we were coming up against Wazinski's deadline.
Mhm.
But we do. This is where we find the heart of the Dryad has to be given freely. The stump which up north is possession of one. I think this is so we do stop by the tree.
Yeah.
And that was why we went through Edenhorn.
Mm-hmm.
And then we like have a brief encounter there, and then Hardy's Hideaway. I don't know where that would be, but it's probably on the way back.
Hardy's Hideaway was probably
the
horde.
Maybe, I don't know. We meet Obi Dundee. The password is Pumpernickel. He has jobs for rogues like us. That sounds more like a city.
The old place.
The old place is a site or like a lair or something like that. It's not a city.
Well, Hardy's Hideaway.
Hardy's Hideaway, I think, is a random encounter that we pursued.
Yeah, it was like on a map or something.
Yeah, it's like in a note.
Or maybe,
you find a note that says, Pumpernickel, and then you can.
That's right. That was just the thing we found along the way. So we don't find the place.
We found someone's secret password.
Is at the old place.
I see. Salty Scuff and the Brave Goblins. I think they're a band. A Braylon band member, family founded band, were eaten by wargs.
Some of these are just like kind of Monty Python.
Yeah. To be clear, these are just like I slam things down in the middle of a quest, and I don't really like edit or understand what I'm saying. We get a Buckler of the Goblin's Grin. I think we forget that we own that. If you attack and miss, the next attack is -1, and it lasts at the attackers or at the enemy attacks. That's interesting.
Oh yeah, that was in Wally's. You met that band.
Oh, okay. So then that would make sense that we would go from the tree back to the road because we would move faster theoretically. We get some rumors. There's some Felmog recruiting for Fire Damp, which we ignore, but then we find the rumor that tortoises are sick and dying in Crickstop, and no one knows why. Let's see. I guess we go to... we're bringing Crazy Ernie back because we go to SPL, find another last tree. So there must just be another tree guarded by Theo Gonzol, Boggart Green Gallivanter. We booby trap it and give him some stuff.
That was a random encounter.
Discovery. Yeah. We hand off Crazy Ernie at SPL, get 5 gold pouches, end our relationship with Wazinski. And we hear rumors that lots of workers leaving from Logjam. Brink is paying good money to expedite her jobs, even though they're backed up. So we're heading farther east, but then we get into the Dirt Nap Dunes.
That's where things go sideways.
Yeah. The only line I have really doesn't do it justice, but just says, fight Olgos the Black Mane, I die, get a crazy scar on my face.
Yeah, this is where Galen...
This is bad. This is a bad area, yeah.
Yeah, this is where you get the a little bit of PTSD from that fight. And like you carry the sorrow with you for several sessions.
Right. It was just like everything in the Dirt Nap Dunes was miserable. We kept rolling like 6s or bumps in the road, and then we would be going a different direction, and we could just never get out of it.
Yeah, Dirt Nap Dunes is a dangerous area.
We would make like 1 square hex of progress, and then we would go the wrong direction and like lose all of our progress. And it was demoralizing as a PC, but I think like globally, if you look down at it, it was very appropriate for that region, and it created good tension in the campaign. But it was tough to get through, I think.
I totally agree, Cotton.
Yeah.
And
Uh,
Galen should be dead. I think. I think if we were not playing a streaming campaign,
I
Galen
think Galen would have been dead
would have died.
because there was a couple.
There were some.
Did I?
There were
Did
some
I?
like.
There was some plot armor on this one. This was where I think we used some plot armor.
There were just some allowances of powers. I think.
Yeah, definitely. Because I think this was like it didn't. It felt rough. And we played it. We played it out. I think in a way that worked well enough.
Yeah,
Um,
it was tough though.
it was
That's
tough.
it. That reminds you that there's only 2 of us instead of like 4.
Right. Yeah.
So the fighting is tough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is infinitely more punishing. Similarly punishing would be we're almost to quick stop and we fight some poltergeists and almost die again.
Killed by poltergeists.
It's just like a quick blurb, fight some poltergeists, almost die, but get to quick stop.
It's hilarious.
So once there, a couple different things. The waterways are polluted. They've already been infected. So this is about the tortoises, I imagine. They have a cough and yellow-green moss. Crick's End, Merc Market, there's Ophrah Prancy. I don't remember if she was just giving us information. We find information on Cade Cataran, toughest bounty hunter in all of Eam, ? Boba Fett status, wanted for murder, ? Powerful river baron, put a bounty on his head. So we were going to pursue this because we could get ancient coins out of the deal. And then we find out that there is Pepper the Huge, a bounty hunter who's now pursuing us. He's a boggle and wears shining armor. I think that the other Blackmane wolves put a bounty on us.
They came up again
for killing. They put a bounty on us for killing Olgos.
I don't know if that's true.
I don't think it was them, but like I do remember that
I remember
those
wolves were
came
like
up again.
Came up again. I swear they put a bounty on us for some
I
reason.
feel like they came up later. I don't.
Maybe
think,
it is. Maybe it is
I
later.
don't
Maybe it
think
was
the wargs would like have that capacity.
All right.
Yeah,
We'll see
aren't,
what
like
the
walking into like some
we'll see
outland
what
office and being like,
see what the notes bear
I'm
out.
putting in a bounty.
Hey, well. Oh no.
Where do I sign?
They maybe they just said that they were going to get us in the future. But I do remember them coming back. I like the idea that they put a bounty on us. They like scraped together some like old possessions from people they killed, and we're like,
Yeah,
hey,
I just love
bounty.
the idea of them filling out paperwork in some dusty office somewhere in the dirt.
Just pop print here, pop print there.
Just like slobber covered coins that spit out of their mouths.
Do we follow up at any time in the near future? Or,
Mindy's parents live here.
Rascalton.
Yeah, so then we must have gotten to Rascalton, right?
Yeah, you get to Rascalton. I think people just noticed you guys, like Pepper the Huge.
I think that makes more sense. Yeah. This is go ahead.
No,
I was gonna say this is where the only thing I have written down is Mindy's parents have a gilded dagger they found in the trash. And I kept trying to make that into a murder dagger. Why else would you throw away a gilded dagger?
Yeah, it's like this is clearly a murder weapon.
Yeah,
her parents are murderers.
no, they never considered that.
Yeah, it was just a lovely find.
No, it's a family heirloom.
We never pursued it.
I think we have it. They gave it to us for rescuing their daughter, I think, right?
I thought it got used or like sold or something. I thought something happened to
something
it.
Along those lines. We might have just bartered it away.
Because it was worth money.
In Rascalton, we go to a place. I don't know if this was random or not. I feel like there was a conversation around it, but it's called the Soggy Jimbo, where Honest Jim Dahlstaff lives.
Yeah, that's.
I think it was like a bar or a tavern of some sort.
Yeah, it's like a rascal bar.
Yeah, it's involved with the Rascals of Rascalton, a group of rogues like Robin Hood and Merry Men. We meet Rolfie Peabody. We meet Rolfie Peabody.
Oh yeah,
yeah, Peabody.
Oh,
Peabody. The boggart smuggler of sorts, and I think we employ him. Oh yeah, because
you want to go down the river.
We gotta want to go down the river, and then this is where we have like a lovely little moment of the Firefly Festival along the way.
Mm-hmm.
Portals
Before
are dancing.
We go down that road, I want to roll for Mindy and her life
After being
like-
rescued.
No, after being
No.
sullied by
Sully.
another man.
It was her dress. I didn't even,
She has a -2 because
I did
Galen
nothing about
never
it.
fulfilled his oath and
Yeah,
put her in a
I
bad
think.
place with her suitors.
What didn't I just say? Like, hey, let's find a laundromat for her or something,
You
or a dry
tried. You
cleaners.
tried to like get out
Yeah.
of this many times.
Yeah, that is a
That's a
terrible
2.
role. Yeah,
And
Oh.
she has a terrible life with a horrible husband.
Wow.
all because of a dress.
It's true.
And there may or may not be a bounty on Galen's head.
She lives the life of a
Yeah.
pauper.
Yeah, and it's all my fault.
She steals the family's life savings to hire Cade the bounty hunter to go after Galen.
Wow. Kate Kettering going after him. It's a really funny
Yes,
concept.
Yes.
I love it. The Firefly Festival was beautiful. I get a jar of fireflies that we use intermittently to light places up. We pull in the log jam. There's massive structures with workers still working hard even at night using the old ways of lumberjacking. The massive structure is owned by Gretsch, has a monopoly on lumber shipment, but no one's seen them. We have to figure out why the lumberjacks are leaving and then also figure out how to redirect or hijack this team to bring lumber shipment. But the Gretchamaticus is shut down. Foreman Barkin and a taskmaster from SPL, I think we encounter them. And don't we convince Foreman Barkin to give us some of his, like, to divert lumber as a form of payment if we can fix the Gretchamaticus?
Something like that.
Something along those lines.
I know that we do work on a deal to get the lumber out of there.
I
Yeah.
don't know that it was a
We were going to steal it.
legit deal.
Yeah, I think we were actually going to steal the lumber because we were going to divert it away from Brink.
Yeah.
We
You
felt
may have just
justified.
convinced him that you could help.
Yeah, I think that is true. I really
no,
wish I had.
The guy with the boat, that's the guy
Mhm.
that
Piabity?
we had to deal with.
That's Piabity.
That's Piabity.
I think you just talked to the foreman like, we can help you out. Because I still
Yeah.
remember you guys sneaking out with the lumber.
We headed in at night to the Gretchamaticus. We found out that the Will-o'-the-Wisps was kind of I wrote Liberator equals Will-o'-Wisps. So I imagine there was like this Liberator thing, or is that me putting a name on something?
No, that's right. The Liberator, the Wisp is who became the Johnny Appleseed mech.
Yeah, like Riley made the mech for him to go around shooting Johnny Appleseed.
So the Wisp took over the Gretchamaticus because it's a
Right.
horrible like machine of destruction.
Mm-hmm.
And there are gremlins in there.
Mm-hmm.
People, like the workers, were captive and whatnot. The Wisp had taken over like the actual machinations, machinery, and was like eating people and stuff. So what'd you guys do? You guys went in there?
We went in there. We took
Snuck
care
around
of
on
business.
catwalks,
Yeah. Do your little dance.
Make a little love. Blow
down
up
tonight.
things. Yeah.
There was a conveyor belt battle.
Yeah, that was
like,
kind of
people were
fun.
getting sucked in, like
Yeah, kicking them back down the conveyor belt into the mouth. I mean, ultimately, we like convince it that we can help it.
Yeah, we did
Yeah.
some convincing. And that's how Johnny Appleseed was born.
Yeah.
that he could do more good by planting seeds.
Yes.
Let's see. Let's roll, Ben. Let's see how much good he's done. Has he reforested the used to be forest at all? Did he get stopped along the
Has
way?
he made it?
Has
Has he
lost
made
his
a
mind?
positive impact?
Yeah.
Well, we already determined that he made it to the last tree, but you want to see like.
But leading up to that point.
Okay. Give him a +1.
Yeah.
Come on.
Hey,
did a
lot of good on
trees.
his way.
He's known as a Green Gallivanter hero in lore.
Yeah.
But he mysteriously disappeared when he went inside the fissure in the last tree.
Last tree.
I want to say that there are tales of him leaving a trail of bandit bodies in his wake with trees growing out of their chests.
Wow.
Anyone who tried to stop him got a tree in the chest.
He's just like saying to everyone he meets, the ends justify the means.
Next, I fast forward and I say we pull into Thurf. We're held up at a checkpoint on our way to the junkyard. And this, Ben, is where I have highlighted wanted poster with our faces on it for killing Olgos the Black Mane. And that's why I said the wolves came back and must have put a bounty on us, because there was a wanted. How would there be a wanted poster with our faces on it for killing Olgos the Black Mane?
They did it.
I don't know. That's weird.
It's wild, weird stuff.
Wargs. Paper.
But like, I remember laughing about this because it was like a ridiculous concept.
I'm all for it.
I think you
Whatever
might have
it's worth.
taken that down wrong.
How dare you?
How dare you? Don't take this from me.
I think
Possible
that
I
you
wasn't
guys,
listening
like,
closely.
yeah,
But we were wanted for killing Olgos the Black Mane.
I don't know if that's the reason why you were wanted. Is my point. But I don't remember this at all.
I mean, it's written down, man. It's canon now.
Let's roll it.
Yeah, let's roll. Let's roll it. Let's roll it. Let's roll it. Let's roll it. 6 and up. 6 and up. The wargs were the ones who put the bounty on us. Hey, it's absolutely true. Dice Roller doesn't lie.
They met in
Dice
a
Roller doesn't
conference
lie.
room.
Yeah.
They put together the legal. That's
They went to legalzoom.com. Put a bounty.
Canon 12. It's a canon. They went to legalzoom.com.
I agree, Ben. I agree that sounds like dumb and not like something you'd make up. Like, I totally agree with you. But for whatever reason, I interpreted it as a very funny
It
concept.
might have been like a random encounter or something. Like the players see their faces on one.
It could have been, but I don't think we can dispute a 12.
That must have been what it was, because that sounds very familiar.
Yeah.
That the players see themselves on a one.
I'm pretty sure that is a random encounter, or that's
Would you think you were joking that it was like about? Maybe you were joking. It is for killing Olgos the Black Mane.
I think that's a you thing. That's like what you wanted it to be.
100%. Yeah, it's like when George DMs himself.
Yeah. I don't know what reality is half the time. I just like blank out and start blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
Lars the Dratch. Wait, we're gonna say? Are we?
No, I was
time
thinking
locked?
that we should probably speed things up.
Cool. I can go faster because we're almost to session or to
gonna
season
make it
3.
to
Yeah.
You guys head down Black Rill. People chasing you.
Yep.
Remember that.
Yeah. This is where Riley loves flying.
Yeah.
I think the Riverwatch were alerted to your theft. That's what happened.
Oh, interesting. You're right.
Because the Riverwatch were chasing us down there, and then we pull into the spill, where we see Lars the Dratch, who, and this is a quest, wants us to come up with a cool nickname for him. I don't think it ever happens. We meet Winston the Bugbear, Volnir the Giant. We kill him in the ooze. We loot the cave. This is where the guy was making all those crazy experiments, right?
Mhm.
In the spill.
The giant.
With the ooze. Yeah.
And that's where Claudia got merged with
Right.
the lizard, and where he also met that Gabe.
Gabe the monk fairy creature.
Yeah.
Who just kind of like disappeared.
Yeah, thankfully. He was gross.
That's
Everyone
how we
kept
got
telling
rid
us
of
to
him,
get
Gabe.
Yeah, everyone kept telling us to
Yeah,
get rid of
let's
him.
roll it. Let's roll it.
Does Gabe die or
does he open up a Norks Noodles franchise?
Yeah.
Failure with a plus?
Gabe's not quite dead,
He lives.
but his
I
mind
wish
is
he was dead.
mush. Yeah. He's a tortured creature preying on rats in the sewers of Dunk.
I think the fairy dies.
Oh, it's
Oh, it's sad.
yeah. The monk creatures
So now there's like a floating dead fairy with
The
him.
fairy is absorbed by the Hmong as
Slowly,
nutrients.
nutrients. Pulling a marsh gate. SPL is taking over the city. We make a deal with Taskmaster Dundun. Gave him info in exchange for diverting next Dina Brink's next shipment to Mucklin Harbor. I think that became kind of a mess. I'm not sure that it all worked out the way we thought it was going to work out. We leave Marshgate, find a stone golem created by magicians. His master is Tully Hooch from Eppley.
Tully Hooch.
I mean, I don't know why I have written in like first letter capitals, zoned out a little dabble do ya. Like, I don't know if that's the title of a book by Zona Imbach or something or what.
Zoned out a little dabble, do you?
I don't understand. It doesn't make any sense. There's no context. We have a shipment that Sarpath are interested in. They attack us and we throw one over the edge. We get back to the crack. So we see a gelatinous goo named Jert. This is like a metal finding dude who was in the Adventurers Guild or something. I don't remember. Let me see if I have it written down somewhere
Academy,
else.
right?
Dungeoneer Academy. Yeah. No. Jert the gelatinous goo, an accomplished rare metal finder. I think he went with Mitch. Do we have Mitch at this point?
Oh yeah, you went with Mitch to Dungeoneer Academy.
That's too funny.
At some point.
Yeah. Oh man. Sven has a new problem. Yalljacks are scared of a new witch, Chara the chicken foot witch. We go onward. We see a goblin kid Groy. Oh, we must do the small
adventure.
dungeon. Yeah, because there's murgatoads, kaleidoscorpions, leeches, mushrooms. Crunch the Wug gets into the water and locked out. He's the Wug who's in her kitchen, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Get
That's
a plumed helmet. Strike a deal with Chara for 0.5% of the bridge's profits taken out of Sven's.
Just negotiating business deals
Yeah.
out of our deaths.
Chara will decurse for a fee. Riley has a goat head.
That's right. That's right. I had a goat head I couldn't speak.
Yeah. Just the Crack Inn is a thing now. I guess we stay there for a night. We head out.
Is this where you got cursed, Galen?
I can't remember.
Yes.
Stench?
The stench, probably.
Because his solution didn't take.
You don't write down your own curses, but you wrote down Riley.
No. My curse is written much higher. Much higher. It's in my actual like penalties thing. I have a curse section.
Section.
But yes,
we'll add
I
that
am
to the character sheets.
Right, curses. We head out from the crack. Need to set up an account in Dunk. We do that later somehow. Come upon the bones of the largest warg, who's bigger than Olgos, half buried in the dust. The skull looks at us menacingly. There's a twinkle in its eye, and it's the arrow. It's a golden arrow that that Claudia uses to great effect in many combats in the future. We pull into Marshgate, roll into the Sour Skull, known for its huzzah tournaments, and Riley can't help herself.
Yeah, I got a gambling issue.
Again, there's Pez Tamir Ribaldo, who had a thing with Gail Ribaldo. I don't know what that is. The Witch Market of Beasleborough ? And then we see Weldar speaking with Taskmaster Dundun, and then just an arrow, and then we get away with his gauntlet.
Yeah. I think Weldar and the Hammer pursued you for a second.
But somehow we stole his gauntlet. And then we run into Lars the Dratch. And then the next line is nonsensical. It says, "Happy, happy day, fish."
What?
That was a random encounter on the river. There was like a fish going happy.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, that's right. That's right. happy day.
like a big mouth
like a
bass.
Mechanical fish or something.
Yeah, like a big mouth bass. That's amazing.
Oh man,
that's now my favorite encounter of all time.
Then you guys go to Beasleborough, where you meet the underground cartoonists.
Run into a comic book dude, Brian Park. Yeah, Yeah. Is this where we get the pins?
Mhm.
The rickety stitch and gelatinous. They're valued in some circles.
That's
Um,
funny.
The last line I have before season 3 is Malva's Cauldron, Droopy Face Goblin. I don't know.
I don't know.
I think that I'm trying to
I think that's the
get decursed.
the witch that will decurse you.
Yeah. Do you guys want to go over session 3 at a later date? Or season 3, rather?
No, I think we could finish it. Let's just
You want me to power through?
yeah, give the broad strokes season
through.
3 because season 4 isn't long at all.
Oh, I don't even know if I make a season 4 delocation. Hey, the Pebble. Who do you have to thank
Hey.
for it? Well, you have these two guys, James and Ben. That's who you have to thank for Rickety Stitch.
Well, thank you, the Pebble.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we're the authors, and we're just talking about our game, which is based on Rickety Stitch, called Land of Eam RPG, and we're kind of rehashing our entire campaign that we just finished. Oh, well, thanks. We appreciate it.
Yeah. No kidding. And thanks for joining the stream.
You guys should put that in the back of the book.
We should. Remind me to write a letter to Random House.
We're going to use that as a quote.
Thank you very much. Where were we? We started season 3. You guys
yep.
go
Season
to
3.
Wharfrat Row, is that in Beetleborough still? Bogtown. Okay, so this is where we have Dungeoneer Magazine, Flea Greenback II, whose father started it. The Shane Shandar. There's Delora, Nabarats, Goral Gangroo, Cheeseburger Fisherman, Alley Snipes, and Kidnappers.
I'd like
all
to
these
pause
different
for
areas.
1 second just to make a shout out to the cheeseburger fisherman.
Bucket
Continue,
of
George.
cheeseburgers. Yeah. We joined forces with Shane Shandar after some shenanigans in where were we again? Bogtown?
Bogtown.
Yeah.
Bogtown.
He's in Bogtown.
We were in,
Yeah.
Bogtown.
This is where we kobold whistled the Navarats. There's like a guy in the sewers.
But I think the big reason was Zona Inbach wanted to go to Dungeoneer Magazine.
Right. And sell the stories, I think. Yeah. And this is where we get, or he's been sending the stories to Dungeoneer Magazine and publishing without us knowing. And that was part of it, right?
Right.
And then their other person they publish about is Shane Shandar, and we joined forces with him to take on the Scarlet Worm.
Yeah, because he was in need of a big story because his latest endeavors were not that exciting.
Yeah. Long and the short of it, Shane spills the beans when we camped about the Sarpathy. He has some information, and then all I write is we killed an effing dragon. I remember it like launching. What did Shane get launched onto its head or something like that? And somehow we slew this guy.
Yeah, like Shane Shandar didn't do much other than like be a meat shield.
Yeah, he just soaked hits while we were doing all the work. But it was amazing. We got some goodies, I think. We find out that, and this is where we start to get more information about the Sarpathy spreading across Scalabog Strand. They've gathered several Eyes of Ek. And then there's just a line that says Gettysville Munchausen, headmaster of Dungeoneer Academy.
And you can find this Dungeoneer Adventures.
Hey, they're Dungeoneer
Adventures.
Shout out to
31st, 2022.
Our new series, Dungeoneer. Check out landogeam.com for more.
If that ain't the perfect setup for a plug, I don't know what is. Willard, Shrim Engineer on a skiff with smoke bombs. Mr. Trap smoke bombs us. This is like where we start dealing with this guy who keeps
Mr. Trap.
and the pumpkin gang.
Mr. Trap, yeah.
Yeah, I hate that guy.
He became our arch nemesis for like a half hour.
For like a brief moment. And then we get involved with the pumpkin gang, meet some beamkins. Am I getting ahead of myself? Oh, this is where it says just one line. Shane Shandar has go ahead.
I recall using the beamkin like we were trying to.
We were pretending to be one.
Yeah, we were trying to convince them that a beamkin was attacking them, and they panicked, and we stole the thing and ran out of there.
But you're forgetting you went back to Bogtown, ran into Ser Halnar.
That's right.
Felmog Knight.
That's right.
Who was mad at
write
you?
That down.
That dog
forgot his or he lost his
Oh,
heirloom in the pumpkin
his
game.
the dragon tooth thing.
Yeah,
right?
we were trying to get the dragon spear thing
Yeah.
from the pumpkins to try to avoid the duel that I had with him because I bumped into him and ticked him off in the street.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you went to the pumpkin patch, and
Mhm.
drew them out of their
Oh no, that's actually in
cellar.
that's coming up. We were all close. There's one line where I wrote "I smell terrible." Riley bumps into a man in red armor. Sir Helena the Red, Dragon's Bolt Spear, Worm's Scissors of Swashbuckling. Thurwig the Hunchback has taken the brunt of Sir Helnar's rage. So we're just in it with the Felmog. We're talking to them. We're like at their
Yep.
Yeah, we set off to the Pumpkin Fields, meet a Beamkin, Old King Knack, the Dark Spirit. Pumpkinheads are terrifying. Find a vampire. He's looking for a purple shiny trim amulet. We recover it. Yeah, we recover the Dragon's Bolt and use up all its charges and show up 6 hours late to the duel.
6 hours. Yep.
Yeah,
Then we spent many quests trying to rectify that.
yeah. We talked to Countess Baroness Khazadar. We want to go to the stone to recharge the weapon. Find more information about how the Dragon's Bolt was forged by Skarn, a dragon who ruled an area in a Felmog. Helena the Red's a failure in his family's eyes. Oh, this is where we run across a trio of bulwarks pursuing the Nakadonkey Strangler.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. There's Humdy, there's Hooch, and Lieutenant Captain.
Hooch.
Yeah, we lose
That's
Humdy and Hooch.
Was a previous Tully Hooch.
Two people in the land. There's two people in the sandbox named Hooch.
Tully Hooch, an ancient wizard from Eppley.
Yeah, and then just Hooch, who's a
He's a bulwark detective.
bulwark. Yes, exactly. We capture the Nakadonkey Strangler and deposit him at Waffles. I'm promoted to a paladin, and then immediately lose a hot haunch challenge and wounded.
Oh,
Two of those guys died.
Yeah, that's Hooch and Humdy.
The Nakadonkey Strangler was much more formidable than
strangled
we
him.
expected.
What was the other
Yeah.
guy's name? Captain?
Lieutenant Captain.
Lieutenant Captain. First
Yeah.
name Lieutenant, last
Yeah.
name Captain.
Captain. This is where my notes kind of leap because we head up to the stone. Basically, we see Pitchwing. It blocks out the sun. We get to Scrockness Mountain. We're looking for Alistair Jadley, his lost wagon shipment. We meet Countess Fiora and the sorcerer Jaldir, who needs a Scrockwing egg for an experiment. He works for the Gloom King. Kind of a big deal. Yeah. Riversart, it gives us a bunch of different things he wants us to get. There's an imp, and then it says Weldar gets us out. He's beginning to question things. Everyone's acting different due to the Sarpathi. So this is the beginning of Weldar's, I don't want to say redemption arc because he's still going downhill after this. But he changes his tune. We get out of the stone, camp, make up, and then we're besieged by a Blemmy named R. Blemmy.
Oh, yeah. I loved our Blemmy.
R. Blemmy was great.
I think
Blemmy was
Blemmies
great.
are the most fun to role play as a GM
Yeah.
because they're like really dumb, unpredictable, just cause trouble.
They just want to eat everything and everyone.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah. We're going up the Scrockness Mountain, encounter a bugbear hunter, Polgrub, who we befriend and who's great. We engage in combat with Firebeak the Pterosaur. We're wounded severely, but wound it severely and then regroup it. And then Wazinski's gone. Why would that be in the middle of all this?
Oh wait, we were going.
Oh, there's an SPL mine off on the mountain. So someone must have
yeah.
told us Wazinski's gone.
Yeah, she's not around anymore.
She's off on a big operation, it says. We rescue a troll, Woodenfoot Zolg, and kill Firebeak. There's Fangle. I don't remember what that is. It says Crisis of Faith.
Giant
Yeah.
spot spider.
Pot spider. His name is.
Oh, that's right. We trick the harpies. Somehow it works. He eats them. We put the flying machine on a sled. Because at some point we had gotten a flying machine. We crashed into that cave.
You got the
That's why.
flying machine in the Scrockness
Yes.
nest,
Yeah.
Yes.
and then got it working, flew it out, but like
And that's
you
when we
had got
combated
Galen
him.
gotten like captured or like grabbed by the Scrockwing or something, and Riley jettisoned fuel to burn it, but then
Yeah,
just
strafe and run.
It was a
what ended up
disaster.
happening was this or Riley flew directly into a cave where the giant inkpot spider's web was, and it got caught up in the web.
Right. Yes.
So you made a deal with the spider to get the harpies to like lure them into his webs.
Yeah. And we do it and he eats them. We get the machine back, find Polgrub and Arblemmy, and head to Bugbear Village, where there's a big celebration for Polgrub. And then it says, yeah. Time to head back to the stone. And then I have a solo quest where I meet Leslo, a jester. There's a Ramgor encounter. He wakes up at night and we send him after the Ramgor. We go to Fort Bulwark. There's a Captain Miscreeb, bounty hunter, bounty boy. Was it a werewolf? He's a werewolf. Yeah.
Right.
He said, "Can I travel with you? Oh, also, you got to chain me up."
Yeah, you got to chain me up.
Oh, by the way,
so you locked him up in Fort Bulwark
Mm-hmm.
while you got the cure for him at the stump.
That makes sense. That all makes sense. Goblin lumberjacks running from Beamkin must be a random encounter. There's a Bogrel junkmonger who visits the witch. We rescue him from a spider web. Some Murgatoad with the witch sitting next to it, much like Jabba's palace. Oh, this is all inside the stump. There's
Jabba's palace.
Yeah, just reading what I wrote, you know. There's Pigwish the orc. I barter and succeed with a twist. I'm curse free in the morning, and I have a potion for Leslo on a 2-day timer. And I find a Welkin lost encyclopedia of facts. Encyclopedia Fun. Encyclopedia of Funfictania by Jane Morton Dinglehausen the Sixth, and return it to Rascalton.
Hearing George read the names.
J. Morton Dinglehausen.
I mean, I'm just reading what I wrote, man. Just reading what I wrote.
Hearing George read the names just kills me. Oh, it's like the first time I ever hear him.
Oh man. Polgrib becomes a bulwark somewhere in this. I think when I return to the Fort Bulwark, go back to Riley, head down, get ambushed by our harpies. We find a bulwark overlook site for the stone. We break into the stone to meet up with Weldar, and then we broker a peace with Helnar the Red somehow. This is where we trick the imp into letting us into his master's things. We throw the drippings of his experiment on the egg, and it hatches, and we run away as everything starts to crumble around us.
Classic Riley and Galen.
Yeah.
The chaos strategy.
Yeah.
Then Helnar used the thing to create a huge chasm as you guys are running out.
Mm-hmm. That's right. He was helping us out after we gave him back his recharged dragon's tooth. Next quest, it just says next quest, Wally's and 3X hot haunch failed challenges. So I think Weldar and the two of us are at Wally's and we all fail. Yeah. This is where we kind of start to find out about the Black Candle aiding the Sarpathi, Felmogger supplying warships in the Scallywag Strand, and we find out about the treasure of Ulfrix the Cruel and Wally and his map, or we get a treasure map from Wally.
Yeah.
But the hammer busts in and finds us. So we rally and throw a food fight and flee to the crack.
Throw a food fight?
Yeah, definitely a food fight, and that's how we get out of there. Along the way to go into the crack, I find I look for a white flame herb to dye Weldar's armor white.
It's just like...
to smearing. I just smear crap all over his armor, and he's just like, I don't even want to wear this anymore.
It's just bird crap.
Yeah. Oh yeah, this is where. Oh, so I'm looking for that, and then we leave the crack, meet a homing pigeon lady named Chelsea, who we send a message to derail the hammer, and send a message to Noggin to prepare the ship. I randomly find that white flame thing, and then I fail at dying Wild's armor. He's Fat Thor now.
Yes, Fat Thor.
You guys also
Yeah.
sent a randomly encountered vampire after.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Unwanted attention. Regal-looking fellow shows up. Parentheses Wampir. His name is Marthel, and then I put in parentheses Martholomew. It's probably a note just for myself.
It's a good one.
But yeah, we send him after whatever happened with that.
Let's find out.
Let's find out.
Roll it.
I don't know if it went well.
He failed to, kill the hammer,
Mm-hmm.
but
You turned him into a vampire.
turned him into.
Oh God, I love it.
He made him his thrall.
Mm-hmm. There's not much written from here to the end of the campaign. So let's get through this, and you can fill in what I'm glancing over. Oh wow, we wrangle a used to be tiger for Jocko. So this is when we're by that little lake. Can you scroll down on the map, Ben?
I wrote a note just now. The hammer is a vampire now.
I love it.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's really funny. We're by Boiling Lake. We're helping E. Etta Bringleboot with quicksand sign painting. Somehow along the way, we end up having to wrangle a used to be tiger for Jocko, who I think is some kind of dwerg or someone from Camp Mudbank.
Yeah.
We go to Urga in Camp Mudbank for lumber, but she tries to drug us. And then we agree to do gladiatorial combat for lumber. That is something I wrote. We run like, yeah. So we like have this whole thing where we're gladiator pit fighters. We like free one of the tigers or something, and it runs up into the stands, and we destroy the whole operation. Definitely don't. It was a chimera. Okay, that's much bigger.
Where
than
you freed Rangoon, the crab rack.
Yes,
Rangoon.
Who became part of your crew.
Yeah, I can't believe I didn't write down. I must have just added him to the list. Yeah.
So after that, you went to Muckland Harbor.
Mm-hmm. We interview people for the galleon.
Mm-hmm.
It's a troll with a boggle on his shoulder who's looking for people to sail the sea. We find a crab rack getting fitted for an enormous hat, which ends up being Quarg. Some peg leg dude, and like just a bunch. This is probably where we meet.
Portal.
Mindy Ironshod at Portal smoking a
right.
pipe, wearing armor like Mako. There's Thrang. I don't know if we get him yet.
Like Mako.
No, I think we do get
you do,
Thrang. Yeah.
Yeah, we do.
And then there's a blind.
With Linnell.
Oh, Linnell. Yeah, sorry. I moved her down to the ship's crew. Linnell Parnwash, human sailor who's clearly blind but is excellent at her craft. And then, yeah, that's kind of where we're at. Where let me scroll back up. We're on the water. I'm the first mate. We run into a bogrel and a hermit who sells him a calculation crab. Run into clam.
Calculation clam.
I like that I wrote calculation crab. We run into a derelict ship with gremlins aboard that we let run into the rocks on Shipwreck Island. We discover a pirate on an island, Shelley, and his coconuts. We convince him to go be a lighthouse keeper. So discover some partial ruins on an island. Land on Lookout Island, abandoned for decades after a tidal wave. We find the Daggerheart Pirates Cove and come across a crew of fishermen who ran into Old Sinker, a sea chimera. At this point, we take this information north to Hornswoggle, meet with Captain Verima Woodenfoot for Pirate Court. She's a top-heavy goblin, which is apparently the only descriptor for her. She obviously has wooden feet, but like the top-heavy goblin's all I wrote down. We help Boggles load their cannon onto the ship. They're one of the Cyclops crews. Head to the Pine Box, meet with the Pirate Corp or Court. I am the captain now? ? I guess I'm the captain of a ship. We set sail after some shenanigans in Hornswoggle. we meet Swirl, who coats our ship in slime, making us move faster.
I feel like
And
we
then
didn't go over the fact that your ship is a pleasure yacht that Noggin has
Yes.
put together.
Yeah, Noggin
Yeah.
has created like he's literally on a cruise.
Yeah, we got 2 loos, one for number 1, one for number 2. Just 2 guys holding chamber pots.
It's a small theater with stand-up comedians.
Yeah, there's an infinite Norse noodle machine that's somehow finite, because nothing's really infinite. But yeah,
And people are eating too
Except
much.
for possibilities.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so then you make it down to the Lookout Island.
Yeah, and Ben, I only have 5 more lines written. Big
Which are?
parrot flies out of the ship towards the lighthouse, wearing a pirate hat.
Well, there's the
Nothing
big
becomes-
battle before that, where you guys
Yeah,
take
after
on-
written after that, I have big battle. We sink the biggest ship.
Yes, and then the pirate flies out of the sinking ship to the lighthouse. Full disclosure, that's the captain of the Dagger Hearts.
The captain is a parrot.
Yes.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my god! It explains so much. So I can never capture him.
The idea was, after that, the pirate flew to Terror Island and met up with the Dagger Hearts there.
I see.
Because that ship that you initially saw going west, that had Thrang on it. Who had
Get
made
out!
it
That makes
to
sense.
That island, or maybe had been captured by them at some other point, and then but he
Because we marooned him.
right, but he gave them that information. He was gonna betray them, though. Never really panned out because you guys sent that giant dinosaur after the whole Dagger Hearts.
Yeah,
That was beautiful.
yeah. I mean, all I have left written is island shenanigans. We find a worm, find an imp, push a pterosaur egg down the hill. Pterosaurs can't see you if you don't move.
Well, you guys got to Terror Island,
Yeah.
and found out quickly that it was like super dangerous when a Blinks almost killed you.
Fought a Blinks, yeah. An invisible predator cat.
So hard to fight.
Yeah.
And then, you encountered that imp who was the minion of Ulfrex. I think that worked out pretty well. That was fun.
Yeah.
That was just like a random encounter.
Yeah.
A wandering creature, an imp, who was hungry.
Definitely worked out.
But then he got eaten by the pterosaur.
Because he moved.
Yes. It almost was Weldar.
Yeah.
50-50 shot.
It's a 50-50 shot.
That would have been the worst end to Weldar after everything he's been through.
I mean, I still somehow would have been okay with it.
I mean,
it would have been like,
what are you gonna do?
That's the land of Eam, baby. That's Mucklin's.
So, I mean, the campaign ended when you guys entered the volcano with the Felmog and Sarpathi forces after you, looking for the Ivek and the treasure of Ulfrex. But you guys found it first. And you used your curio of infinite doors, your relic, legendary item that you got at 10th level.
Yeah. And we
create a portal to Eppley when you found that tapestry from Eppley in the Horde.
Yeah, the tapestry of the Griffin Heart. I mean, it was an amazing find.
Yeah.
Like, to just open.
And we escaped with the Eye of Ek. It was just the perfect way to end the campaign.
Yeah. I mean, many random relics lined up. The Curio of Infinite Doors, where you can place some object in it and then go to its point of origin. And then getting in a relic from Eppley. Like, just infinitely.
Only Frodo had one of those, you know what I mean?
As you guys explain this entire story, the Bogrel Junkmonger goes, "Oh, that's one hell of a tale."
Oh, God, I forgot.
Hell of a tale.
I love it.
We high
what are you going to do now?
I don't know, Riley. What do you want to do tonight?
Same thing we do every night, Pinky. Try to take over the world. Sorry.
That's what I set it up. That's what I was setting up.
A Pinky in the Brain campaign.
Mhm.
I think we got to make our way back.
Back to the shack where it all started. We're gonna go back home.
Got to get back to that past
All
samurai.
right. Well, you guys are
Bum,
like
bum, bum.
somewhere way off the screen. Like,
We're like 2
Yeah.
whole Muckland maps away.
yeah, that's true.
I mean, I love it. I love the idea that out there somewhere, Riley and Galen are level 10, first of all, and they are just do-gooding across the lands with the Eye of Ek. They know the Sarpathi.
Keeping it
Are-
safe. They can never
Yeah.
return home.
They can't return home. They know the Sarpathi are going to start clearing out of the Mucklands and moving north, right? I mean, that they're going to pursue the Eye of Ek because they can see vaguely where it is, right?
Yeah, there's like a
Are
Hierophant
Riley and
guy
Galen-
going, it's here, it's here.
Yeah.
Are Riley and Galen in Harp's Edge when it's destroyed?
Whoa, spoiler alert. Jeez.
Whoa.
I mean, it's been out for a while. Come
Yeah,
on.
it's true. That's true. I love the idea of Riley and Galen being NPCs in Harp's Edge.
We got to survive.
Let's see if they survive.
ultimate GM move, man.
It cuts to them in the rain running from like freaking knights, like
Yeah.
arrows riddling their bodies.
Yeah.
I love the idea of them making their way to Harp's Edge. That's great.
Well, listen, got to end the stream now, but
Yeah.
you know, we're not going to start the new campaign until the new year, just because
Mhm.
it doesn't make sense to. But so the next couple times in December, I think we could, you know, keep talking about this stuff, make new characters, maybe talk
Yeah.
about, you know, game design stuff.
I
Yeah,
love it.
that sounds like a blast. I can't wait to
Yeah.
make a new character. I want to be a rascal. I want to be a
Heck
rascal.
yeah. I'll be a bard. You know, thanks to everyone who joined us on this crazy adventure or who's
Yeah.
followed us since the beginning. The next one will be something different, maybe bigger, maybe better, but definitely interesting along the way.
Indeed.
Indeed.
Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next week. And landofeme.com. Goodbye now.
.com.
Let me look on my. Catch you later, guys.
Later.
Bye-bye.